Howdy, Possum Patty here, and welcome to a snowy, soggy bottom. It is a very pleasant, quiet Sunday afternoon. The snow has been coming down. We got about 6 inches. Mr. Possum had to take the snow blower out and clear the driveway. It's going to freeze tonight, so I'm wondering about the road conditions tomorrow. I hope everyone stays safe. But yeah, just a quiet day, and I have been sitting here relaxing and actually making another ring-bound journal. If you remember, I was ringing in the new year with this lighthouse journal, a ring-bound lighthouse journal. And this is going to hold all my memories and adventures of lighthouses that Mr. Possum and I are going to visit or have visited in the past. Well, I had a lot of fun making this. And so I was looking around the room, and there was the Dolly Parton's fabulously fudgy brownie mix box. Now, Carol at Crinkle Path, she was getting ready to make a journal out of her box. Somebody had gifted her a box, a Dolly Parton. She had a cake mix. I have a brownie mix. So anyway, so I got one, and I bought the box. And I told Carol I bought the box, but I really wasn't sure, what kind of journal I was going to make or what I was going to use it for. I certainly have enough journals, right? But I couldn't resist a pink and purple Dolly Parton's fabulously fudgy box. And yes, I did make the brownies. These are actually Duncan Hine brownies, and I put walnuts in the mix, and I gave them to Mr. Possum, and he loved them. He said they were fabulous. So I was like, well, I have all these things out to make a ring-bound journal. So why don't I just go ahead and make another one? Because I had gone to Walmart to buy more rings, so now I have plenty of rings, believe me. So I did the same thing as I did with that journal. So if you missed that video, I'll link it below. And it's just basic, simple, 2 pieces of cardboard, punch 3 holes, stick some paper in the middle, and bingo, you have a junk journal. For the paper inside of this one, I went over to my pile of scraps over there, and I just grabbed a handful of paper that's already been cut. It's just sitting over there. I'm really good at saving scraps of paper and really bad at using them up. So here's an opportunity to use up some of those scraps. And I put in, I don't know, like 30, 31, 32 sheets in there. I was watching Amy at Doki Doki Forest, and she was getting her January journals ready. And she's going to participate in 2 challenges, Junk Journal January and Blue Book January. So I'm going to talk a little bit about those 2 challenges because I've decided that that's what I'm going to use this journal for. So I'm going to bring you in a little closer and show you what I've done to the journal to get ready for those challenges. And I have a special surprise from the fairies over in the corner because they have been working on ring-bound journals themselves. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. They are so tiny and so adorable. You're going to love those. But wait, first, before you come on along, let's go out to a kitchen and make a healthy drink. I love to make a smoothie. I'm going to take my Stanley cup and I'm going to add some coconut milk yogurt. Going to dump the whole thing in there. And I have a bag of frozen blueberries. You can add whatever fruit you like. Put that in the mug. Gonna get some almond milk and put in about a half a cup. Blend it. Put it on the blender till it is nice and smooth. And then just drink it up. So now I have my blueberry drink in my Stanley mug. I hear Stanley mugs are very popular this year. These are my fairies. This is Maggie Rose, Angela Rose, and Ruthie Rose. And they have flown to Soggy Bottom across the pond from the UK where their fairy godmother Julia lives. I will link her channel below. And they have this cute little workstation. They have the little chairs. And they're sitting here doing some journaling. Now, like I said, they were actually making ring-bound journals. These tiny, tiny, tiny little ring-bound journals. But you can see here that they have been hard at work, and each one has made their own journal with their initial on it. They have rings and ties. They got scraps all over the table, but that's okay. We're not going to worry about the mess. And I was asking them, I said, how did you manage putting rings, those tiny rings on those journals? And they said, well, they had some fairy tools. I was like, what? Fairy tools? And they showed me they had this little magical fairy pliers that they can use to put the rings on their journals. Unbelievable. I did not know there was such a thing at all. So I'll bring those over for a closer look. They're all just about the same. So let's take a look at this close up. As you can see, they did a terrific job here. Each journal is bound with 2 rings, and they've added some fancy ties. There's a washi tape on the spine. There's some gold around the cover. And they have a fancy initial medallion on the front. And each journal has plenty of paper to journal on. This is so amazing. And these are about, I'd say they're about an inch by a little bit more than an inch by an inch and a half. Tiny, tiny, tiny ring-bound journals. Have you ever seen such a thing in your life? And this is their this is their magical fairy pliers that they can use to make ring-bound journals. How small is that? You can compare it to my thumbnail. Well, all I'm doing right now is taking these little strips of fabric, just some scraps of fabric, and they're about 6 inches long, and I'm tying them onto the ring. And I've discovered I like the thinner ones a little better because they tie easier. just some scraps, and I've got a lot of scraps. These are quilting scraps that I bought at a yard sale, really cheap a couple years ago. I still have a bunch left. So this is going to look very festive when I get all those on there. But let me show you what I did on the inside. As you can see, I did put gold around. That's like my new fave, right? On the inside, I have pasted the prompts for Junk Journal January 2024. Now, this is hosted by Meg Journals in collaboration with Get Messy Art. And they've been doing this for quite a while now. And there are 31 prompts, one for each day of January. There are videos you can watch. They have a list of active participants who are collaborating and making a video every day of their interpretation of these different prompts. But you can do this any way you want. You can play along and you can watch their videos or not watch their videos, come up with your own ideas, but you can always put the hashtag Junk Journal January, and so that others can see what you are doing. Now, I am not going to do one of these every day this month. This will probably last me the entire year until Junk Journal January 2025, right? And that's okay. So I'll just work on this at my leisure. I love some of these prompts like stitched, flow, whimsical, lyrics, grungy, ombre, fabric, garden. Love all of these. Torn edges. I already have torn edges, right? So this is going to be my inspiration to do some prompts. Junk Journal page. But if you flip to the back of the journal, here are the prompts for Glue Book January. Now, this is hosted by Caged Fish, and she comes up with like a scavenger hunt. So this is really cool. So for every day of January, there's 31 lists here. There's 5 different things that you can scout around for to make just like glue book collaging. And she says you can do this any way you want to. Some people find all the pictures for, say, one day, and then they collage it together. Some people stick in their pictures when they find them. I think I am going to just, as I find one of the things that's on the list, I'm just going to put it in the book and put a little check to it. And I am not necessarily going to put like Wizard Tooth, Chocolate Bar, Barbie, and Shadow on the same page. Yeah, and she said you can do it any way you want. So I think what I'm going to do is when I find something, I'm going to glue it down and check it off. And then when I find the next thing, I'm going to put it wherever I want to and then check it off. So the Glue Book January prompts are going to start here and be on this side of the pages. And the Junk Journal January prompts are going to start here and be on this side of the page. So Junk Journal January will go this way from the front, and Glue Book January will start here and go this way. So we've got it from the front to the back and the back to the front. 2 completely different challenges. I will list both of these challenges below. They both have different prompts. This is more like Glue Book, find these images and collage them in, where this is more like doing a junk journal technique with these different things. So I think this is going to be very interesting. If I need more room, I can always add more paper because I got a ring bound. But I think I put in plenty of pages because I'm going to do it double-sided. Like I said, Glue Book on one side and Junk Journal on the other. Now, one more thing. Caged Fish also has a question for every day, and you can play along with the questions or not. You can just do the prompts, you can just do the questions, you can do both the questions and the prompts. I decided this is my first time doing this, that I wasn't going to do the questions, but I will try and do the prompts. And we'll see how that goes. Let's see what she comes up with next January. So if a lot of people love the questions, she may do that again. We shall see. But I figured this was enough for me to do. But I like that it's a scavenger hunt. And when I find something that's on this list, like I said, I'm just going to stick it right in. I'm not going to save it. I'm just going to put it right in right away. And we'll just see how this goes. So I'll come on with this every once in a while and show you some progress and maybe glue a few things in. And I noticed right away that some of these things are in my, what's that book? Stand by. This was actually gifted to me, Extraordinary Things to Cut Out and Collage. And there were some things on this list, like pyramids and Marilyn Monroe, that are in here. We've got superheroes. I don't know if you're familiar with this book, but it's just a big giant book with over 1,500 images of things. It's on kind of like a nice shiny paper, and you can cut them out and use them in your collage. As you can see, I've already taken things out. There's a pyramid up here. These are buildings. Oh, there's a pyramid. This is the Inca pyramid. So I'm going to have to cut that out. Elizabeth Taylor. Give you ideas in the front about building up a collage. And then it just has everything. People, parts of faces, body parts, famous people there, superheroes, transportation, machinery, food. I'll have to look and see if there's any food on the list. Furniture. Lots of cats and signs. There's another pyramid. And there's some pyramids up there. We've got lots of pyramids. We could do a whole pyramid page. Trees and plants and fruits and mushrooms and animals. Dogs, birds. Sea creatures and shells. Insects. Feathers. Lots of, oh, jewels. I think Jewel was on there somewhere. I'm going to have to get familiar with that list. Aw, big kitty. Wow. That is a giant skull. There were some faces at the end. There's Marilyn Monroe. But you know what? She's... she would almost fit in here. Right? I could probably get part of her face on here. I probably don't need her whole face, do I? I probably don't need her whole face. Let's see. And I'm not doing these in any particular order, but I'm definitely have to check that list against everything that's in here, because I think that book is going to help me out a lot. What if, let's see, where's the, I take this out, and I can just put glue on here. All right, I can just about see her face through there. So I'm going to place this right about there. I'm going to cut this out. And if I find a tiny image from another prompt, I can put that over the top of it. And when we flip this over, we will see how this looks. See how it came out? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, not bad, not bad. All right, I gotta go get my hole punch though. All right, so the January games have begun, and there is Marilyn Monroe. And all I'm gonna do is go to the list at the back and put a little, I don't want to cross it out because I want to leave it easy to read. So I think I'll just be putting little checks above the words to show that I have that. And again, both of these games I will do all year. And that's all that will go in this journal. Until next year, I will make another one for Junk Journal January and Glue Book January 2025. Wow, okay. Well, I just wanted to share these little things with you today. And I'm going to go now and finish my healthy drink in my Stanley mug. And I want to wish everybody happy Glue Book January, happy Junk Journal January, and thanks for coming along today. Bye-bye.